Hey everyone, Jason here with update 2 of the travel trailer tutorial. So I am decided to do this. I ripped it apart into sub chunks to help me remember where everything goes. Took a few reference photos, and I've already found a couple of building errors that I'd like to fix. So this is going to be something that I'm going to have to fix up and make it easier to build. There's going to be some hairy parts into this tutorial where it's going to be a challenge to put some pieces together. So the video tutorial would probably be necessary for some parts. So, first when I was thinking about it, this is going to be a tough tutorial, but now ripping it all apart, it doesn't look too scary. Now it's just remembering now how everything's going to go together and how I'm going to start it. So there's some chunks, like here's a chunk, this is a chunk, that's a chunk, 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 chunk. It's all chunks now. And now looking at this, I can sit back and just build little portions at a time. The first thing we'd obviously start would be this. And this is actually going to be the easiest part to build. Then you got the bumper and the hitch and the door and all that stuff. That stuff goes on later. And of course the top part would be the last part, and that would be a chunk in itself. So I always get questions asked, how do I usually do tutorials? Well, that's how I do them. I break my tutorials down into chunks. I can't remember where every piece goes. Which kind of brings up a subtopic here, because I've been getting some people complaining about how slow I talk when I do tutorials. When I build a tutorial or do a review or anything like that, my main focus is on the project at hand. I am not focused on how I should script the video to make it faster. Okay? I always have somebody complaining and say I build too slow, I talk too slow. Well, this should clarify it. When I'm building stuff like this, my main focus is to put the part in the correct area where everyone can understand. I'm not here to say, oh, this goes here, 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 and here, and here, and go really fast. That would be considered scripting it out. And when I do these type of tutorials, these are not scripted. Unless I have to go back and correct a part error. So, like when I start building this, I'll break this down into a small portion and build from there. So each chunk, let's say each chunk was considered a day. Okay, this part's a chunk, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This could take probably 2 weeks, but my main goal is to focus on this, not to script it. Okay, I know some people have said, well, this Lego YouTuber goes fast, that Lego YouTuber goes fast. Yeah, and their tutorials only have 20 parts. This is probably going to have 600 to 900 pieces. I'm not sure. But when I talk slow, I'm focusing on the build. I'm not focusing on how fast and how I should script it. Okay, so that's just a quick clarification when you film a tutorial or a review or even a custom, I'm not here to take a 20-minute video and knock it down to 30 seconds. That's not my goal. I mean, I could do a speed build on this, but people would get lost on it. And I don't want to do that. And I enjoy doing these. So, now with this being an exploded view of the camper, like the slide outs over here, each one of those won't take too long. So if I look at each piece, like, okay, this, if I were to just isolate just this portion alone and work on just this is manageable. And I step back and take a break. And maybe the next portion, well, let's build the back rear of the trailer with the bathroom. Okay, I got that done. Okay, whew, that's 2 days done. I got 2 days worth of work done. And maybe focus on the kitchen another day. Okay, woo, that's done. Move on. So that's how I'm planning these out. So I'm not sure how this is going to go. I just want to share with you. Now, if you like these updates, I may just keep making more anyways and just talk about the progress of doing this tutorial until somebody ruins it. I hope nobody does. But I think this is going to be a challenge. This kind of brings back memories, though, of building the fifth wheel. Except the fifth wheel was done completely from memory, and remember I had to correct some errors as I was going, so yeah, I don't want to have to, you know, do the whole thing. This time this part is scripted. I'm laying everything out, but when I start building, I just go with the flow. You know, it's like when I build this bottom part, this will be broken up into smaller pieces. This will be broken up into smaller pieces, like I'll lay the deck out first, and maybe a roll of bricks or plates, and then I'll start filling in the floor and that kind of thing. And then, there we go. The bottom portion of the trailer's done, and then I'll index it for part 2 and keep going. So part 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever, you know, however it goes. So I'm going to have to find a container to put this in to keep the dust bunnies off of it. But I might start working on it tomorrow. Just maybe break it down and just say, okay, I'm going to do a portion. Get it done, take a break, come back another day and do more of it. Yeah, so I think that's how I'm going to approach this project. Like, obviously, this is just, it's just a wall with a plate on the bottom, and it goes back here. So it's not too terribly bad. You know, I'm getting kind of pumped to do this stuff. This is going to be nice. So yeah, I may end up just doing this portion and stopping here, and that's it. I'm just thinking on how to do this. You know. And I wanted to keep the brown plates on this. I may have to do that. And also when I film these, I do rewatch these. Like when I get done filming, let's say this portion here, and I'm satisfied, I will go and rewatch this, and I will build this along on LDD. And if I can follow along on LDD, I know anybody can follow along using an actual Lego brick. You know, so that's how I'm setting this up. So probably in the next update or so, you'll start seeing this trailer go back together. So this is not a tutorial. This is not meant to be, okay, Jay's going to show us how to build it now. This is not a tutorial. This is just how I set up a tutorial. You know, how I plan them out, put things together, and go with the flow. So that's it. Thank you for watching. There'll be more updates coming soon, so stay tuned.